Many vehicles have been introduced or reintroduced in recent years with years of hype and development hell. The Jeep pickup truck has been one of those vehicles that seemingly has been teased for years. Well, in 2020, we finally got it in the Jeep Gladiator. It may not be a traditional workaholic pickup truck, but it fits nicely with the whole lifestyle pickup truck off-roader, which is what most of these style of vehicles are bought as anyways. Since the early 2000s, the return of the Jeep pickup truck has long been teased. Things really picked up in 2005 when the Gladiator concept was debuted at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit. While intended to be a simply styling tease for the upcoming JK Wrangler, reception for the Gladiator concept was overwhelmingly positive. The open air canvas top, the small diesel and 6-speed manual transmission, and the excellent approach and departure angles. I remember reading about this concept as a 12-year-old, and the hype for the Wrangler-based small truck intensified at that time. Around the same time, American expedition vehicles began offering the Brute conversion for the TJ Wrangler, which had proved that the demand for such a vehicle was high. But the road to get to the 2020 Gladiator would be a long and tedious one, with loads of teases in the meantime. In the mid-aughts, Jeep offered a TJ Wrangler-based truck thing to militaries called the T1, but the Egyptian military would only be the real customers of this very bare-bones vehicle. In 2010, the new Kaiser 715 concept would shock the world at that year's Easter Jeep Safari. Based on the T1's military replacement, the J8, this oddity would not only pay homage to the J-truck-based M715 of the Vietnam War, it would also serve as a testbed for a lot of Mopar's upcoming parts lines for the JK Wrangler. This would lead to a trend of Easter Jeep Safari concepts featuring a lot of times some pickup truck concept. The JK8, the J12, the Crew Chief 715, and the 2016 Comanche concept. Almost every year, a new tease. That was until the 2018 Los Angeles International Auto Show. Then, we finally got the Jeep pickup that we had long been promised, the Gladiator. Based on the JL Wrangler Unlimited, which had been introduced the year before, the Gladiator is claimed to share less than 50% of parts with the Wrangler, including the frame being beefed and stretched for the increased payload of the JT. But as much as Jeep would want you to believe that this is a totally different vehicle, you'll still get reminded that it's essentially a Wrangler pickup at heart, and nothing really stands out more than the shared rear doors of the Wrangler Unlimited. Unlike the Wrangler, where the fender closely follows the door, you get this weird gap that exposes where the frame was stretched in the center. It just looks awkward. As expected from the B-pillars forward, it's essentially a JL Wrangler. The interior, the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, and the Aisin 6-speed manual, and most of the exterior. The key difference outside in the nose area is that the grille is actually unique to the JT Gladiator. The grille slats are actually wider on the Gladiator than the Wrangler, to allow for more airflow and increased engine cooling for towing and hauling. The fact that it's finally here after all these years upon years of teasing and wishing comes down to the fact that the demand outweighed the internal politics of Chrysler that delayed it for so long. Ever since Jeep's purchase by Chrysler, a Jeep pickup was seen as a redundant product to the greater Chrysler lineup. Almost immediately, the ancient full-size J-truck line was discontinued. The mid-size Cherokee-based Comanche would be phased out by 1992 due to it competing directly with the Dodge Dakota. Then, nothing for 28 years. As time would go on, rumors of Dodge and later Ram trucks protesting that a Jeep pickup would compete directly against their own offerings, and that they were the only Chrysler brand for a pickup. Now, in hindsight, that was kind of short-sighted. Dodge and later Ram's offerings have always been somewhat traditional trucks, Shelby Dakotas and SRT-10 Rams notwithstanding. A Wrangler-based pickup, though, would always be more of a lifestyle vehicle, rather than being designed as a workhorse first, which is exactly why Jeep leaned into the Jeepness with the JT Gladiator. The doors are still removable, and the windshield still folds down. All Gladiators are convertibles. All Gladiators are standard with 4-wheel drive, and the Gladiator is the last American pickup truck available with a manual transmission. And of course, the patented Easter eggs that you see in modern Jeeps, all in heavily into the Jeepness. The Willis grille stamped into the headlight lens, the little flat fender at the corner of the windshield, the various since 1941s hidden in the interior, such as on the shifter here, and an ode to Toledo, Ohio hidden in the bed. Much like the Renegade I reviewed early in this channel's life, the Gladiator oozes with self-reference. One really cool Easter egg I missed on the chute for the Wrangler are the flip-flops on the passenger side cowl. This is a very deep cut for Jeep, and it's apparently a nod to legendary off-roader and rider Rick Payway. I was a die-hard reader of Peterson's 4-Wheel and Off-Road growing up, and seeing the man behind many years of that sadly now departed magazine get honored with his traditional flip-flops is a cool little detail for the biggest of Jeep nerds. Now, this is a 2021 Jeep Gladiator Sport. This is a bare-bones base model of the Gladiator. The Sport S is the mid-level model, the Overland is the luxury model, the Mojave is the Desert Pre-Runner inspired package, and the Rubicon is the famous rock crawler package first found in the Wrangler. But this is the Sport. Such a beautifully simple machine. The base modelness of this base model is almost retro in what's not here. You don't get power locks or power windows. No power ports for the rear passengers either. I was taken aback at just how basic it felt inside, and I absolutely loved it. This truly felt like a throwback. For sure. While I felt the manual everything charmin', I found the little tiny dash screen actually woefully out of date for the times. Like, Jeep, Chrysler, just a little bit larger, that's all I'm asking. An 8-inch screen like in my Malibu is the perfect size. Large enough that you can use navigation effectively, and not overbearingly large like in current Rams or Teslas. And sitting in the back as a big guy honestly isn't a bad experience. I had plenty of headroom at 6'3" with the soft top, although the center bar has me worried about the headroom with a hard top. It's kinda low. And with the front seat back, I had plenty of rear leg room in the back. Overall, the rear of the Gladiator is fat guy friendly. Oh, yeah, the top. The Sunrider soft top is easy to use. You have 2 latches above the sun visors, and you just fold it back. Now, it is kinda heavy, and I recommend a second set of hands to help fold it back. If you don't remove it all the way, and you just fold it like this, it just sits awkwardly at the back when up, but it does look cool with it up and the rear window removed like an old school Jeep bikini top. But just simply folding it back is just a quick, easy way to get instant open air Jeep fun. So, moving on, drive impressions. I should probably get to those. It drives like a truck. An old truck. What do you expect? It's a body-on-frame vehicle with solid front and rear axles. Be glad it has coil suspension front and rear because it does actually soak up the bumps quite well, but it's fairly wallowy on country roads. The clutch feels weirdly light and it engages quite quickly. With the lack of low-end torque of the Pentastar V6, it's actually quite easy to stall in first gear. I did it a few times. Once you get going, it's fine. It shifts smoothly and the shifter engages with a nice clunk. But yeah, the clutch feel honestly reminded me of the Honda Acti from episode 59. You'll get used to it, but the lack of torque honestly made things a little more difficult than they needed to, just in that initial stage of getting used to it. The Jeep Gladiator is a wonderfully quirky truck. It's not trying to fool you into thinking it's something more than a gussied up work truck. This is a lifestyle truck through and through. That's because it's a Jeep. It's exactly what a Jeep truck in the modern age should be. It's capable off-road, and it's wonderfully quirky. Yes, the bed is small despite the Gladiator's obnoxious length, but lifestyle truck. It's not really trying to fool you into thinking it's a work truck. It's not. That's why I kind of like it, because it's honest. Not all trucks need an 8-foot bed, like Hyundai's Santa Cruz and Ford's Maverick. Trust me, follow me here. Jeep knows people buying trucks aren't actually going to use them for truck stuff 9 times out of 10. Jeep knows people are buying a lot of trucks just for the image of them, on top of buying Jeeps for the image of buying a Jeep. That's why a Gladiator makes perfect sense for them. While Ram will eventually, hopefully, bring back a small and/or mid-size offering that's more of a traditional truck, Jeep has the benefit of being Jeep. And it was able to go absolutely ham with being a Jeep. The 2021 Jeep Gladiator Sport is a fantastically weird truck that may not be the best truck, but it succeeds in being a weird Jeep. Weird and off-roading are what Jeep does best, and I'm very happy Jeep was able to finally get the Gladiator on the showroom floors despite how cranky Ram may be about it. This is the last American truck you can get with a stick shift. In pure Jeep fashion, even the bare bones crank window base model is standard with 4-wheel drive. 2021 Jeep Gladiator Sport. It's weird. Of course I like it. Thank you once again for watching another episode of Wookie Drives. This week's episode comes courtesy of Tyler of Lincolnton, North Carolina. Tyler was gracious enough to let me drive his freshly purchased Jeep, so huge shout out to him for letting me have a go in it. If you have a car or truck you'd like to see on the show and happen to be in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, email me at wookiedrives@gmail.com. That is wookiedrives@gmail.com. Submit your car there. Follow the official Facebook page at facebook.com/wookiedrives for channel updates. Follow my Twitter and Instagram at WookieAutomoTV for more Wookie rants, raves, and shenanigans. Follow my TikTok for the occasional weird, dumb video that I feel like posting at whatever time. Stuff that I don't really think fits on the main channel. It's just quick stuff I'll film in the shop or out and about. Anyways, be sure to give the video a like, drop a comment with some feedback, share with all your Jeep and Jeep Gladiator friends, and be sure to hit that subscribe button for more Wookie Drives like these. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.
Today we'd like to compare the performance of this Jeep truck to a tank. Ready, go! Notice the fantastic traction of Jeep 4-wheel drive. The tank's doing well too. Jeep truck has great ground clearance. Tank doesn't need any. Jeep truck's very maneuverable. The tank doesn't have to be. Plus, with a Jeep truck, you can pick up a date. With a tank, it's nearly impossible. Jeep truck, from the truck division of Jeep Corporation.